Have you heard of Monsanto? Have you heard of GMOs? Well, a little explanation. Monsanto is an organization that was developed in 1899 who brought us a lot of things like Agent Orange, PCBs, the growth hormone RGBH that's in our milk and our cow's milk. Also glyphosate that's in Roundup. The weed killer that is now found in our drinking water, in rain, and our mother's breast milk. So Monsanto has been bringing us different forms of chemical warfare through the generations, and it's not healthy for the environment and thus ourselves. So we're standing up to march against Monsanto to educate more people about these unfortunate happenings going on. And GMOs are another one of the things that Monsanto has created, where they take an actual part of like a tomato and they mix in a fish in order for the tomatoes to last longer. So they're playing with genetics and engineering, and it's not natural. We are actual guinea pigs. We're part of the experiments because this hasn't been tested in science, and so all these things going on, we're standing up against Monsanto. And please do your own research, Google about it, and educate yourselves too.
Work with nature and not against it.
That's what it should be about.
Given the climate crisis, we work also to be ecologically sensitive when growing our food. And then laws. We demand laws that prioritize knowledge, access, farmers, and workers. Laws must not patent seeds and life. These laws build systemic injustice. Genetic engineering is a means by which corporate interests secure quote-unquote intellectual
Sick of greed, we don't want your toxic seed. Sick of lies, sick of greed, we don't want your toxic seed. Sick of lies, we don't want your toxic seed.
What do we want? Real food. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Real food.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Real food.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Real food.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Real food.
When do we want it?
Now.
Real food!
Now.
Fed bottle of Monsanto.
People have the right to know.
Make them labeled GMOs.
People have the right to know.
Make them labeled GMOs. People have the right to know. Make them labeled GMOs. Join us in Capitol Square. Join us in Capitol Square. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Label what goes on our plate. 2, 4, 6, 8. Label what goes on our plate.
We don't want them on our plate. We don't want them on our plate.
March Against Monsanto, May 23rd, 2015. Hi, I'm Laura Kelly, and this is POCCA TV. Today we're in Boston at March Against Monsanto. We're here to protect our food. We're standing up about food and our rights to label for no GM.
Get Monsanto out. GMO. Get Monsanto out.
Of the planet?
GMO. Get Monsanto out.
Of the universe?
GMO. Get Monsanto out.
Everywhere.
Get Monsanto out.
I'm a student.
Get Monsanto out.
Of zucchini!
Get Monsanto out.
Of our squash!
simple label. All we want's a 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 simple label for the food that's on our table. All we want's a simple label for the food that's on our table. All we want's a simple label for the food that's on our table. All we want's a simple label for the food that's on our table. All we want is a simple label for the food that's on our table.
He's a local organic farmer, activist, and biologist. He's got a lot to say. He's got a lot of history with glyphosate and Monsanto, and we'd like to bring him up right now for some words. Mr. Ed Stockman.
I want to talk about one of Monsanto's biggest secrets. I want to talk about Roundup. Roundup is the world's most used herbicide. In 2014, it generated $5.1 billion for Monsanto Corporation. So we're not talking about a small item here. This is big bucks. The actual killing agent within Roundup is called glyphosate. And I want you to remember that name. More than 90% of GMO crops in America are actually sprayed with glyphosate. And most of the GMO crops can withstand this poison, this killer. And U.S. farmers use a tremendous amount of it on the fields. So I want to talk about some of the secrets. One of the secrets is glyphosate, the active ingredient in Roundup, is a systemic herbicide. And what that means is when a farmer sprays it on the field, and I'm a fourth-generation farmer, so I know a lot about agriculture. When a farmer sprays this on the field, the glyphosate is actually taken in by the crop plant. It's taken in through the leaves and the roots, and it becomes part of the cellular structure of the plant. It does not just sit on the surface. It's not topical. It's in the systems of the plant. So you cannot wash glyphosate off. You cannot wash Roundup off. If you eat a GMO crop, you are probably eating glyphosate. In some cases, they double the allowable amount. Instead of telling farmers to use less glyphosate, they just told us we can eat more. We, as Americans, eat more glyphosate than any people on the planet. We eat more GMOs, and consequently, we eat more glyphosate. Also, Monsanto doesn't want you to know that glyphosate is an antibiotic. When you spray it on the soil, it disrupts the microbial life of the soil. And when you ingest glyphosate, it's going to upset the microbial balance in your microbiome or your gut bacteria. And some scientists and health practitioners believe that celiac disease is actually due to high levels of glyphosate and not so much the tolerance of gluten. There's more research that needs to be done with that, though. Actually declared glyphosate a probable carcinogen in humans. And this is new information that really, really upset Monsanto and the biotech industry. I don't know about you, but I'm a butterfly watcher, and last year I saw one monarch butterfly. Normally I would see hundreds. The year before that, in 2013, I saw 2 monarch butterflies. These are indicators. This is the canary in the cage. We have to pay attention to these kinds of things. So, in conclusion, glyphosate is not safe. It's a probable human carcinogen. Roundup produces poor quality food. Glyphosate cannot be washed off. It's in the plant, not on the plant. So please don't think you can just wash these chemicals off. and glyphosate needs to be banned from the marketplace. We can no longer have glyphosate on and in our food.
Last year was holding it up, so we took pictures, and that's how we started talking to Laura. Laura's from Cape Cod. She has her awesome sign again. She's been running an organic landscaping business for 25 years. She's an organic grower. She's a protector of Cape Cod land and water. And again, we just met her because she came to this and participated. So maybe you're going to be up here next year. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome, nice round of applause for Laura Kelly.
Hello, Boston. Hi, everybody. I'm obviously Laura Kelly from Cape Cod. I'm the 11th generation, born and raised there. Wow. And I'm doing all I can to protect our drinking water. So I've created an organization called POCCA. Drinking water, right? I mean, glyphosate is in drinking water now. Come on. So I created an organization called POCCA, Protect Our Cape Cod Aquifer, and it's been a couple of years, and I'm changing local laws. It is possible. It's all about persistence. I just continue to not give up. It's been years. I started about 5 years ago working with the selectmen. There are 15 towns on Cape Cod, and they know me by name now. So I have a few asks of them, and one is that our local utility called NSTAR, now it's called Eversource, wants to spray herbicides, 5 different types of herbicides along 150 miles of power lines on Cape Cod above an aquifer. That's insane. So, a couple years ago I said, hey selectmen, you want to get involved? I gave them something that I wrote and they all signed it. This year, actually February, March, April, I went back to the selectmen and said, hey, this is still happening. Can you guys write your own documents stating why you don't want glyphosate, imazapar, trichlopyr, glyphosate spread on Cape Cod's power lines? I'll tell you what, all 15 towns got involved. Such a proud moment for me to send it to our state senator, who then sent it to MDAR, the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources. That was it for me. I lay down and cried. This is doable. Last December, I also went back to the 15 towns of Cape Cod and said, hey, let's lessen the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus above our aquifer. As you can tell, it's coming up in our fresh and salt waters. I got 8 towns to sign that they would change regulations to lessen the amount of fertilizer in their towns. This is doable. You write a little piece of paper, you get on the agenda, you follow up in 2 weeks, and hey, you follow up again in 2 weeks, and again in 2 weeks, until they call you back and say, you're on the agenda. We don't want these things in our towns. You start small. Of course, this is going and spreading around the world. We can do this at a local level. I believe it starts right here, with each individual person. Where you spend your money matters. Your dollar is your vote. It's really as simple as that. We are the majority. There's more of us than them. It's simple. Really simple. Every single day, you matter. And you matter. And you matter. And you matter. You spend money, you matter in the circle of life. And it really makes a difference. Support your local farmers. They can feed you. We need farmers 3 meals a day. That's a great responsibility. I say, shake the hand of the person that feeds your family. Really simple. Keeping your money in your own community builds your community. So no chain stores, no chain restaurants, no chain, gas stations. Think of it, is it a chain? Don't go there. Just tomorrow, when you wake up, you can change. So along the theme of today, I wanted to be thankful to Monsanto, for bringing us here together. For our current awareness, Monsanto has opened our eyes to the corruption in our government. Monsanto has taught us to look at the history of chemical warfare. Monsanto has taught us to understand the importance of honeybees for our own survival. Monsanto has taught us that chemical companies are writing safety standards and keeping us in the dark. They're keeping us in the dark. I mean, this is totally unfair. Would we have known this if this wasn't brought to our attention? Thank you, Monsanto. Monsanto inspires us to grow our own food and save our own heirloom seeds. Save your seeds. Save your seeds. Monsanto is getting us to purchase from local farmers because they have healthier foods for us. Monsanto gives us a deeper understanding of our own place in this web of life. Monsanto gives us a role in history to create a better place for future generations. I thank Monsanto for causing us to wake up and organize and push for safer alternatives. Thank you, Monsanto. Hi, Elaine. So congratulations to Bermuda and the Netherlands. Last week they banned glyphosate. Now we know where to go vacation. Monsanto knew 35 years ago that its glyphosate-soaked food causes cancer. Roundup is now in the rain, our drinking water, and mother's milk. Remember, synthetic pesticides aren't on your food, they're in your food. Thanks, Ed, for describing that. It is up to us to pressure the FDA and take action to get this poison off our shelves, or we'll all have to suffer the consequences. Last time I checked, the Earth was a closed system, right? And history is repeating itself with chemical warfare harming all living creatures on Earth over and over again. Guess what happened on Tuesday, May 19th at the White House? They announced the national strategy to promote pollinator health. I'll believe it when I see it. But anyway, it says that they're going to restore colony health in sustainable levels in 2025. What about now? That's 10 years from now. Right? Honestly. They're going to increase the monarch butterfly populations by 2020. What about now? They're going to restore and enhance 7 million acres of land. When? When? So we'll stay tuned on that big announcement. Honeybees keep our food alive. I'm a beekeeper. So I used to get... My little story is I'm an organic horticulturist on the Cape for 25 years. And I used to always get stung working with the plants, no big deal. It was the late 90s, I wasn't getting stung at all. I'd go a whole year and I wouldn't get stung. And I was like, what is happening? So I said, Mom, come on, let's go to a mother-daughter thing. And we went to bee school together. We learned how to build our own hives, and we learned all of everything, the life cycle of honeybees. So that was the year 2000, and I'm an organic beekeeper on Cape Cod, successful. They're like my little fuzzy little babies. Well, unfortunately I've got stung so much I'm allergic to the boogers now, but we still need them in our circle of life. They keep our food alive. They're the most aggressive pollinators on Earth. Without honeybees, they say that the humans will only have 5 years to live. So technically honeybees are not in our food chain, but they are directly connected to everything that is in our food chain. So they say 1/3 of every bite that you eat is thanks to a honeybee. We've got to figure out how to keep our bees alive. Seeds. My answer for us, I call us the little people. Little people, like, buy seeds. Anything that flowers, let anything flower. Let it just go and flower. What's the big deal? You're done with your kale, let it flower. It's so beautiful. You will feed the pollinators and you will help them. Oh, This kills me. Okay, so you guys have heard about the neonicotinoids that are killing the honeybee. What's wrong with honeybees? The neos? So the problem with me, and this is just how twisted the system is, okay? So the neonicotinoids have a sugar base to them where the honeybees now are attracted to the plants that are killing them. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just so unfair. So every time you buy food, remember to buy organic food. It is convincing more farmers to grow organically. That's the answer to our circle of life. What if more food was grown in our local community? What if we planted food forests around our towns? It's time to reconsider the large-scale growing and what it looks like. Every day, we need to think about this. To say F you to Monsanto, you know what you do? You plant a garden. It's real easy. So you cannot unlearn what you're learning here today. Let it fuel you. Let it push your state representatives to write more local laws and change to protect the health of our families and generations to come. Vote with your dollar every given day. You matter, and collectively we can make a difference. It starts at home with you. Thank you.
For food justice, but what does that mean? What is our vision that we are putting out into the world? The reality is that Monsanto has been controlling the story about how we live, what the possibilities are, how we relate to each other and the planet, and they are doing everything they can to hold on to that story, even though it is dwindling and we're seeing it for the lies that they are, right? And one way that they've been doing that, they try to convince us that we need the genetically engineered seeds to feed the world. Do we need their GMO seeds to feed the world? I don't know. They keep saying that. I'm starting to believe them. They just keep saying it over and over again. No, but I know, because the people that I've seen, the people that I've talked to, I've seen so many wonderful projects, people making it happen, growing drought-tolerant crops, increasing productivity. They don't need to be watering every day because they have vibrant soil, the microorganisms, the mulch, the polycultures, the intercropping, the agroecology, the permaculture. We have no shortage of solutions. But as long as these transnational corporations keep controlling the conversation through their media echo chambers, they're going to keep saying it over and over again. But while they have the millions to populate the airwaves, we have the millions of people that are out here that you all touch and around the world that are spreading the truth. So let's hear it. So one way that Monsanto and the big chemical companies like Dow, Syngenta, Bayer, BASF, the companies that brought us such things as DDT, Agent Orange, and PCBs and said nothing to worry about there. They're now spending record millions of dollars to keep us in the dark about what we're eating, whether or not we're eating genetically engineered crops, the majority of which are engineered to withstand increasing applications of herbicides or to produce their own pesticides in every bite, in every cell. It cannot be washed off. What do you say about that? They say people are too stupid. They don't know what a GMO is. They're only going to be scared. We can't give them that information. Let's just put it in the food. And that has been the story since the mid-90s. A 1992 policy statement from the FDA written by former Monsanto executive Michael Taylor, now in charge of the FDA. The FDA unilaterally declared, without any scientific backing, that GMOs are substantially equivalent to non-GMOs, and therefore they do not require any additional safety testing or labeling. That is a fact. Look it up. So now the Food and Drug Administration simply invites these companies to submit a voluntary letter saying that they didn't find anything wrong with the safety of that food. That is the extent of the regulatory process of genetically engineered foods. Now, according to internal memos released as a result of a lawsuit, the FDA's own scientists had expressed strong concerns about the unintentional introduction of allergens and toxins and other unintended consequences of genetic engineering, and they said, at the very least, we should label these foods and track them so that we can see if there's an impact on public health and so people can make an informed choice. This was the FDA's own scientists. But you know what happened to those memos? Of course, they were whitewashed by Michael Taylor, former vice president of Monsanto, and other Monsanto executives that are controlling and working through revolving doors in our federal government to, again, pave the way for biotechnology such that the broad majority of GMO of acreage in the U.S. is now genetically engineered. So what are we going to do about it? Fortunately, over the last couple years, there has been an upswelling of support for transparency in food labeling, so that while the science is still out and we need more research, and we do have concerning evidence of, of harm being caused by these, nothing conclusive, but while there is cause for concern and there is a need for further research, people have a right to opt out and to avoid purchasing these foods and to avoid supporting these questionable business practices. I feel that everyone has a right to know, whether you're shopping at a Whole Foods, you're shopping at the local corner store, you should be able to pick something up and tell if it's genetically engineered if you want to feed that to your family, right?
Laura Kelly here at the Copley Plaza in Boston. Today was such a long day. It was full of so much bounty, hundreds of people, and lots of knowledge going on about March Against Monsanto. Today was a worldwide march, and there was so much education. I believe it was over 400 cities where around the world this was also going on. This is to protect our food, all for our food sources, talking about Roundup, Glyphosate, the active ingredient, what's going on with our food sources, talking about saving the bees, and lots of interconnecting going on with new people, meeting new people, learning about March Against Monsanto, the worldwide march that I was lucky to participate in. Please Google more information about Monsanto and GMOs, and know that they're in 12 of our foods right now, so don't purchase them. They're not healthy for you. So thanks for joining us. Thanks to LCTV, the Lower Cape Television, and this is POCCA Cape Cod. And you can get more information at poccacapecod.org. I'm Laura Kelly, and stay tuned for more episodes.